Okay, I'm going to do a little shop update. I said in the last shop update that I need to get this place cleaned up. Well, I haven't made much progress because I've been kind of busy doing some hauls. But I'll explain it to you. I haven't shot any video of it, but I'll just show you what they were. At least I've got the axle out of here, the rear axle. It's out of here, back behind the truck. And I will get this place this area cleaned up so that I can do whatever I'm going to do with it. Have access to the workbench or whatever I'm going to do with it. I still got to think about it a little bit, but let me jump into the first segment of the shop update. And let me tell you something, it's going to be about that paint. And this is going to be the last video on it. I switched brands and went back to Rust-Oleum and still having issues with it. But let me get it, show it to you, show you why I'm having issues with it. And this will be the last segment on that. Okay, it's right after I posted that last shop update. Well, it was producing and stuff. I had gone out and I actually got some more Evaporust now. Those bits are still in the container. What I'll do is I'll pull them out and then pour in the new gallon of Evaporust, poured into the existing Evaporust. Just because the bits that I'm starting to use now are getting bigger, and it will not only refresh and get me some new Evaporust in there, but also increase the depth of it so to cover them better. While I was out, I also got some paint. Let me take you over there. Okay, so like I had said in my last video, I was going to go back and try Rust-Oleum again. Now, Rust-Oleum is an enamel type of paint. I'm not going to say that I don't like enamel. I would just rather have a lacquer or an acrylic type of based paint more than enamel. But let's see how it does. I'll let you know what it is after I paint it and how it came out. Well, it was out also. I picked up a wire wheel for the 4-inch grinder, angle grinder. Wire wheel that I've got on my angle grinder is almost gone. I think I got my money's worth out of that one. Bring it back. So what I did is it had taken those drill bits that were in there out, cleaned them up. I put that other gallon of Evaporust in there, and then put the remainder of the drill bits that were in that one bucket in, and they're soaking, and they will come out tomorrow. Well, today's Friday. They might not come out until Sunday or so, but I'll see about that. One of the things, I went to an estate sale yesterday. They had a bunch of machines there, but by the time I had to make a haul yesterday to Syracuse, and I didn't get back until early afternoon, went to that estate sale. It was a one day only on a Thursday, which was kind of unusual, but by the time I got there, most of the machines that they had a surface grinder. They had a very small shaper there. They had some other things there. They had a couple of lathes and stuff, but most of the stuff, the good stuff, was gone by the time I got there. So, but one of the things that I did see laying around was this Kennedy machinist toolbox, and so I picked it up. It was $40. There was a couple of what I thought was cheap micrometers in it, but actually they're Brown and Sharp micrometers. I mean, they're probably the lower end Brown and Sharp, or the lowest end Brown and Sharp, but Still brown sharp micrometers. But anyways, it does have the cover to it too, and it's all in good condition. I'll clean it up, just throw it around. I picked it up some books and a couple of other things for. They wanted 80 for this thing. I paid 40 for it. Let me take you over. I put another coat of paint on that drill bit cabinet. Let me take you over to it. And here it is. Now it's in different light. I've got the garage door open, but hopefully, as you can see, I do not see streaks in there. What I had done is I just brought it over here, scuffed it off with a Scotch-Brite pad, and took a tack rag and just cleaned it off. Maybe there is streaks on the side, but what about the back? Yeah, they're there too. Okay. Top looks good though, because the top, you know what I did on the top? I went both ways on the top while it was still wet, because you can, because it's the top and you won't get any runs if you layer it on. Top looks good. I still see streaks in the sides though, in the back. All right, let me contemplate what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so yesterday I told you that I sprayed that cabinet again with Rust-Oleum paint, and I still got streaks. Well, let me show you something. Here's a Krylon paint can, and I was having issues with it. Look at the nozzle. This is the Rust-Oleum can, having issues with it. Look at the nozzle. Exact same nozzle on the Rust-Oleum and the Krylon. Exact same nozzle. Now, I gotta tell you, the Rust-Oleum paint is a lot thicker than this Krylon paint. It goes on and applies better, but I'm still getting streaks because of that nozzle. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse to death about this thing. What I'm going to do is, I've got this other can of Rust-Oleum and I'm not going to waste it. So what I've decided to do is, I didn't have issues with the top because I was able to lay it on heavy. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tip it up on the side, be able to lay this paint on heavy, because now it's a flat horizontal surface, and I'll be able to lay it on without getting streaks in it, and like the top, and not getting streaks like the top. And then I'll just keep tipping it over until I get it done. But you know, that way I'm not wasting a can of paint. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this thing. One of my viewers says try Caterpillar paint. Not really sure where I could try buy Caterpillar paint around here, but you know, I'm open to options. You know, the other thing that I'm thinking about doing is buying the paint in bulk and getting a spray gun, a good spray gun that I can use. Well, when I say good, not like a Devilibus expensive spray gun that they use to paint cars with, but that type of spray gun, a better spray gun. The only issue that I have with that is, you know, then I've got to come up with a cleaning station and being able to clean the gun up every time that I use it, which is kind of a pain in the butt if you've only got something small to paint, but I'll work on it. More drill bits that are completed. This is what I have left, plus the big one. Now, some of these are not going to fit into that bucket that I have here, so I'm going to have to figure out something else to get them done. And here is the drill cabinet after finished painting. Again, what I had to do is lay it down so that I could paint flat horizontal surfaces, so that the paint didn't run, and I could lay it on thick so that I didn't get those streaks. Okay, what I did is I had finished painting this. I sat it up on this what was touted as being a welding table at an auction. I don't think is really a welding table. First of all, it's very low. Second of all, it's very small. Thirdly, it's got them ornate type of legs on them with kind of bolt clamps onto the bottom of them. My belief was that it was the stand or the table off of a radial arm drill, but I can't be sure of that. But anyways, what I did is I set the cabinet up here, kind of re-lettered it. We're talking about putting strips in here now. That's a rail-like effect where you can run paper. Well, it won't be paper, but it will be like I don't know what to call it. Construction paper, that poster board type of stuff down through here. I have put all of the bits that I've cleaned so far in here, and when you get them in here, it really doesn't look like you have a lot. Now, they aren't all in there, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. Some of the sizes were overrunning the tray that they held. But there are bits up in there. Of course, there's a couple of sizes missing. 3/8 the most prevalent. I think 5/8 was too. Am I wrong on that? Where is 5/8? Three eighths, 3/4, 7/8. There is no 5/8 tray. There is no 5/8 tray. Was there on the list? No, wasn't on the original list. When I redo that, I will redo it for 5/8. But anyways, sorry, got sidetracked there. It doesn't really look like much of anything until you go to start pulling some of these drill bits out and the size of them. And then all of a sudden, because all you're seeing is the more tapered end of it, basically. You're not really seeing back in there. But anyways, there it is so far. I've still got a letter or number size the bottom shelf and finish up what is there. It's getting to the point where the bits are so big, only so many of them will fit into that bucket at a time and still be submerged, and that 3-inch bit isn't even going to fit into the bucket. So I've got to come up with something for that. I'm in the shop here just doing some service on my truck. Just did an oil change, cleaning the vent filter. I'm going to blow out the air filter. It's an oil type air filter, but I'm not going to change it at this time. It was only put in not that long ago. So what I do is I just take it out and blow it out. This time of year you get a lot of dust and pollen and stuff like that that comes up into it and plugs it. So I just kind of take it out, blow it out, get it opened back up again. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do is I just came back from that haul to New Jersey where I had to pick up a generator. I'll take you out, kind of show you the trailer, because a couple of weird things happened to me. But it was kind of one of those nights. I went down there early morning, so that I got down there around 7:30 in the morning, Somerville, New Jersey. Again, had to pick up a generator. It was from a company that went out of, well, it didn't go out of business, but they had an auction. They auctioned off all their equipment. They're actually moving. They made plastic dishes, serving trays, stuff like that, that's used in hospitals, schools, stuff like that. They didn't go out of business, but they are moving their operation to different locations, existing locations. They said New Jersey was too expensive. One of the locations is New York, and I'm thinking, oh, you think New Jersey is expensive? Wait until you start getting your tax bases and everything in New York. But anyways, I picked up on the way down there. It was at night. On the way down there, it was kind of a clear night, partly cloudy. There was a moon out, and the visibility kind of was pretty good. But it was one of those optical nights where things on the road, you really couldn't see that far ahead of you. And I was driving down Route 86, and there was a guy coming the other way. It's a 4-lane highway. Guy coming the other way had his high beams on, and it was kind of distracting, optically blurring to you. And somebody had hit a deer, and there was a deer in the road, and I ran over the thing, ran right over it with the front wheel. And I just kind of wanted to see if there was anything underneath the chassis or it did any damage, especially to that air intake, which really sticks down, and it didn't. But I'll take you out and show you the trailer. So one of the things that happened to me on that haul to New Jersey is on the way back, I got a flat tire. Well, yeah, let's call it a flat tire. This tire went flat on it, and I didn't know about it. Now, most of the time, every time that it's happened to me before, it's kind of been violent. You heard it, it blew out, or the trailer was so loaded that when the tire went, one of the tires went, you could feel the trailer swaying a little bit. Because it's only supported by one other tire on that side, so you get kind of like a lot of flex in the sidewall. The trailer sways a little bit. This time, all I had was that generator on it, and I had it kind of front loaded to keep a lot of it out of the wind, and just because it really wasn't that heavy. The thing only weighed 3,000 pounds, so I got a flat tire. I didn't actually notice it. Now, in hindsight, I should have realized something. I passed a tractor trailer, and I didn't cut him shortcut him, but he moved over, after I had passed him, he moved over to the passing lane for a while. But probably about 10 miles down the road, a girl pulled up beside me, and she yelled at me or said something to me. So I rolled out my window, and she says, "You got a flat tire on your trailer." And so I pulled over, and the thing was flat. So one of the things that I don't have or don't usually carry with me is a jack, because there's actually no place to put it. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna have to start carrying one. I'm gonna find some place to put it, jack to put it with me. But what I did is I pulled off at the next exit, and what I usually do, instead of having a jack, I'll usually run it up on boards. Well, I didn't have any extra boards with me. Run the other tire, the tire that's not flat, up on boards, which will pick up the axle enough so that you can usually get the tire off and get the spare tire on. I do have a spare tire. So what I was going to do, I found a Home Depot on the site and looked it up on the internet, found one that was at the next exit. Went looking for the Home Depot, but long story, I didn't see the Home Depot, but what I did see is the tire place. And I pulled in the tire place and I asked them, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put a card, I'm going to take a picture of his card, put it up there in a link, because this guy was great. I pulled in, he looked at it, he says, I don't think I have any trailer tires, but let me look. Had one. I backed the trailer up to the bay door. He had some guys, 2 guys come out, they had the trailer up, the old tire off, the new tire on, and I was gone within 20 minutes. This place was phenomenal. So if anybody sees it, I'm going to put a link over there, put the card, pick over there. This place was great. So what I told you about the deer, this is going to be kind of gross, so if you guys are grossed out by shit, don't look. I noticed in my light, or in my mirrors, I always run with my running lights on. This light was duller than the normal one. So when I stopped to grab something to eat, when I came out, I checked my straps and everything on the generator, checked the tires and everything, and went to clean this light off, and then noticed this. And it was pretty gross at the time. Now this is a day later. Was pretty gross at the time. That's all deer hair, and that's all blood and stuff on here, dried blood, some pieces of meat up in here, but that's what was covering the light up, was that. So I've got to get over and take care of it. What must have happened is that deer caught onto the jack thing and just kind of exploded up onto the trailer. I kind of looked on the rest of it, the undercarriage and the rest of it, and there's nothing there. So, but that had nothing to do with the tire either. The tire was on the other side. Okay, I'm out here behind the shop, and I've got the trailer back out here again. I just got to go through it, stow everything back away the way it originally was. Make sure I've got my drill screws, some planks with me. I've got to go down to Delaware and pick up a planer, a metal planer, not a wood planer, a metal planer. And I think it's an old school planer, line shaft driven type of planer. I know that it's going to a machine shop that is line shaft driven. Now he does have some other tools in there, so I'm not sure until I get there, but I've got my bets would be on that it's a line driven metal planer. I'm standing out here by my trailer for a couple of reasons. I told you, first of all, in the beginning of this video that I had made a bunch of hauls, and I didn't make any videos of them. My last shop update, I told you about a haul that I had to make from Nashville back up to Rochester with a load of racking shelves. I'm not really sure what they're called, the technical name for them, but they're those metal trays that go into racks that you can set skids on. I brought a load up from Nashville, Tennessee, to a rack distributor in Rochester, or outside of Rochester. I also made a couple of hauls for him to Syracuse, and I'm not going to show that to you. You've seen the racks on the truck before, or on the trailer before, and you've seen some videotapes of it, and I've explained about me hauling it, so I'm not going to show that to you again. I also was contacted by somebody else that knows that guy, the rack guy, about making a haul for him. And what it was is, he is a snowmobile, tractor, lawn tractor, garden tractor type of distributor. He also sells those four-wheel ATVs and stuff like that. But he needed some snowmobiles hauled to a place south of Syracuse, a little town called Tully. So there was 8 snowmobiles, but they were crated. So I was just taking them from this distributor to a supplier down in Tully. And I'll put a pick over here someplace to show the trailer loaded. So I did that one, and then came back and made another little rack haul to Syracuse again. So I've been kind of busy. Not long hauls, fairly short hauls, but they have a tendency of consuming most of the day. I mean, I'm still able to get back to the shop and do some things, but when you come back, you kind of have a tendency to unwind and not really be able to get into things big time until the next day. Anyways, I'm kind of out here showing you this trailer, PJ trailer, and I've had the PJ trailer in my videos a lot before, and I've touted them, and what I'm in the process of doing is looking for another trailer, another gooseneck trailer. Now, I've told you in haul truck videos that I probably planned on using a gooseneck on that haul truck, but there could be a change in that kind of thing. But right now, what I'm looking for is a bigger gooseneck trailer. And I've touted PJ in the past, but I've got to tell you, I'm having some issues, and the biggest issue that I have with PJ trailers is their coating. They powder coat this thing, and it's held up fairly well, but I got to tell you that powder coating is coming off in a lot of places, and you can probably see it. Now, you're going to get stuff like this all over, because the rub rail and the side rails are going to get dinged up when you put stuff on. But there's places where this powder coating is just coming off terribly. And I'll tell you what it is. It's I have no doubt that it's bad metal preparation before the powder coat is on. The other issue I had is with the ramps, and I've discussed that before, is how they're welded on. I lost that ramp, have no idea where it went because of the configuration of the dovetail on the trailer. Those welds broke where it's held on to the this pin. The welds broke off of there. I was going to send them this, but I couldn't get an email address to send pics to. You can send they have an email address listed on their website, but you can send comments and stuff like that. But there's nobody to send an email to saying they should redesign this, because it's kind of a crappy design. I re-welded this one, but I lost that one. I re-welded this one, so possibly the same thing wouldn't happen. But as you can see from the underframe in there, hopefully you can see, you should be able to see. There is just a lot of rust on it, and what happens is, and I have touched up a lot of places with black paint, but you get things like this. This isn't damage from cargo on the trailer. This is bad metal preparation, and the powder coating is just peeling off of the metal. It peels off in sheets. And the same thing happens out here. In the front of the trailer, I have retouched it up a couple of times with paint, but you can see this area right around here is starting to bubble up, and it's going to be coming off of there too. But anyways, another area where it's bubbling up. This side has been touched up a couple of different times. I'm going to be looking at some new trailers. I'm going to go to PJ. I'm going to talk to the dealer, see if I can't talk to somebody down at PJ trailers, and tell them my concerns about it. But the first thing, the trailer's going to be bigger. This is a 20-foot deck. It's actually over 20 feet. The deck is actually about 21 feet long. You have a 5-foot dovetail on the back, so it makes the trailer about 26 foot of usable space on it. I'm looking for a trailer in the neighborhood of 35, 38 feet, 35 foot deck, 38 foot deck. That way I can get 40 foot stuff on it. Sometimes steel, pipe, stuff like that comes in 40 foot lengths. I can get that on it. Biggest issue is I want dualies, 2 axles with dualies on them, and I do not want these utility tires on it anymore, these 16-inch tires. I want 17.5s on it. First of all, these 16-inch utility trailer tires, it's almost impossible to find any that is made in the United States in here. When you get them from PJ, they're Chinese tires. When you go to buy replacements, they're Chinese tires. Hard to find US tires. I want 17.5s on it for 2 reasons. To try and get back to United States or US made tires, and also if you have an issue with a trailer on the road, those roadside services for trucks and trailers will not deal, most of them won't deal with anything below 17.5. I had a blowout on the Massachusetts Turnpike, and I went through 5 roadside services before I found one that would come out and fix a tire, because none of them wanted to work on anything smaller than a 17.5, and it wasn't even to change the tire. All I wanted them to do was jack it up and put my spare on. They wouldn't touch it. But anyways, looking for a bigger trailer, bigger GVW, bigger deck, dualies, dual axles, dualies on the axles. Yeah. So I'm going to go to PJ, but there's some other manufacturers that I'm going to be going to. Diamond C is one of them. So anybody from PJ or a PJ dealer that happens to be watching this video, get a hold of me, because I have some issues that PJ needs to address before, if they want repeat customers. But anyways, I'll bring you back.